Good evening, GameSpot, and welcome to the daily JPL number 4. And pardon me if I seem a little tired. It's 11:18 at night. I got about 42 minutes before it no longer becomes the daily JPL. And basically the reason why it's taken me so long to get this done is when I first came home, I decided to watch Paranormal Activity 3 while I ate dinner. And I know Paranormal Activity isn't necessarily the greatest horror franchise out there. I can't even really consider it horror. It's more like kind of supernatural home movie type of horrors. Like, we know from the Blair Witch Project. It's basically the Blair Witch Project was the first movie that kind of introduced that concept that you can make a film really cheap and then market it, get the word of mouth spreading, and then make millions and millions of dollars from it, all profit. So that's why Paranormal Activities continue to be made, and I won't be surprised if we see a fourth one next year. As far as if Paranormal Activity 3 was good, well, if you enjoyed the first two, you'll most likely enjoy number 3. But if you got tired of them, then you can totally skip 3, because 3 doesn't do anything really new that the first two haven't already done. Now, in the world of gaming, just this morning I finally finished Wipeout 2048, and it's kind of a surprise to me because I was expecting it to be a little longer. The single player campaign actually only has like 3 major cups, and when I was working on the third one, I was expecting it to go into the 2051 series, but it just stopped right there. And then I found out later on, if you get to rank 40, it unlocks the A+ class challenges. But I'm like rank 22, and I don't want to continue to race in this game over and over and over and over again, just unlock a series of challenges that almost likely drive me to the brink of insanity. So I decided to go ahead and kind of wrap the game up and move on, and I also reviewed the game after Paranormal Activity was over, and I just finished the review just a few minutes ago, and that's why I'm now currently working on this video blog. So if you would be so kind, please go to my review section and read my Wipeout 2048 review, and if you like it, give it a thumbs up. And that's pretty much all that's new in my gaming world. Now that Wipeout 2048 is finished, I'm going to go ahead and continue to focus on Hot Shots Golf World Invitational. Try to get it done within the next week or so I can have it off my plate and ready for Unit 13, because I'm pretty sure I'm probably going to end up buying Unit 13 next Tuesday. And that's just pretty much all I want to talk about, aside from the fact that GameSpot has put up several reviews over the past couple of days. I'm just kind of looking through what they've submitted. Army Corps of Hell, or Army Corps of Hell, got a 6.5. I was actually thinking of getting that game, but the reason why I didn't get it is I went to Best Buy for the buy two, get one free deal, and Army Corps of Hell was the one game that I wanted to get free, but unfortunately Best Buy had such a crappy selection I couldn't find 2 games that I wanted to purchase, so I passed. But Army Corps of Hell does sound interesting enough that I would want to add it to my collection, so I'm probably going to look to see if I can buy the game for like, I don't know, $15 or so. And speaking of $15, Escape Plan just got reviewed. GameSpot gave it a 6.0. And Escape Plan is a $15 PSN title, and because it's $15, it kind of put me off from wanting to buy it when I first got my Vita back on the 15th. Basically, I've been hearing that the control scheme, although it's interesting at first, becomes problematic in the later stages. It's really tricky to try to use the game, to try to use a control scheme effectively. And it doesn't really have enough content to warrant a full $15. And that's just the thing. People are wanting to buy these digital games for cheaper prices. So if you're just going to put out games that don't have enough content in them, and you're charging $15 for it, you're scaring off a lot of people. Whereas if you charge $10 for it, you could probably sell more games and possibly make a profit from selling more copies for less. Anyway, the last thing that I wanted to talk about that I see on my review page, or on GameSpot's review page, is The Last Story. And Last Story is one of those games that ended up being published stateside as a result of the fan-driven Operation Rainfall. But even though The Last Story got a 9.0, I am not really compelled at all to get this game. I am not like all those other Wii gamers out there who have been starved to the point where their ribs are showing, who are just living for just this one game to come out, along with Xenoblade Chronicles, because quite simply I have so much on my plate on so many other systems that I don't care about these Wii role-playing games. Um, and it's also compounded by the fact that I just don't have the time and the money for them. Does that mean I will never buy or never play The Last Story? No. I'm gonna eventually get it because I do like JRPGs, but I just don't have any interest to play the Wii right now. So if I see it for cheap and if I have time for it, I'll get it. But it's just one of those things where it's too little, too late as far as I'm concerned. And I'm sure that you've probably read this somewhere. I've probably written it down as a comment to somebody else's blog. I just think that Nintendo should have taken these three games, The Last Story, Xenoblade Chronicles, and there was like a third one. I can't remember what the third one is called. And I think they just should have shifted them onto the Wii U, improved the graphics, make use of the tablet controller interface, and I think they would have had a much more interesting first year lineup with three highly anticipated role-playing games. I mean, you guys have been waiting months and months and months for just the hope that these games are going to come to stateside, so it's waiting another year for having awesome JRPGs on your brand new Wii U. Anyway, I am just completely dead, so I'm going to go ahead and end this blog, and as usual, thanks for watching.